All right, the economy feels shaky, right? Especially Silicon Valley. Many more Americans looking for some extra income. One company is benefiting from that. That is Airbnb. In fact, the company's founders actually started it renting out air mattresses in their home. This was in San Francisco during the 2008 recession. Well, now Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky is, I'm not kidding, doing it again, renting out a room in his current San Francisco house, which is just a little bit bigger and a little bit nicer than when you launched the company. Look at this.
Well, I'm taking photos of this house because I'm going to put it on Airbnb.
This place right here.
Yeah, I live here, so I'll be here. But I'm going to put this room on Airbnb.
If you're coming to San Francisco and you need a place to stay, I'd love to host you.
He's with us now, Brian Chesky, co-founder and CEO of Airbnb. Welcome to CNN this morning.
Thank you for having me today.
We're glad to have you in studio. Okay, so you're here to talk about a lot. We're going to get into a lot.
Yeah.
But why are you renting out a room in your house? Why? And you're announcing some big changes to the platform.
Yeah. Well, let me answer both those questions. Why am I first renting my home, my house? Well, I was the first host. My roommate Joe and I, 15 years ago, couldn't afford to pay rent. A design conference come to San Francisco. All these hotels are sold out. We said, let's get a bed and breakfast for this conference. I didn't have any beds, but Joe had 3 air beds. We pulled them out of the closet. We called it Air Bed and Breakfast. 15 years later, I thought, a recession is now looming, obviously, if not already in one. Airbnb was born during a recession. Back then in 2008, many people were looking to make extra money. They turned to Airbnb, and we thought now is a really good time to show people that if I can host, you can host too. So what we're doing is we're trying to make it much easier than ever for people to put their home on Airbnb. And we basically have 2 updates. First is a product called Airbnb Setup. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to make it really easy to set up your Airbnb. We thought, well, how are we going to do that? Some of the best ways to learn something new is by learning from somebody who's done it before. So we have all these super hosts around the world. And we thought, what if we create something kind of like a Genius Bar, where we match you to other super hosts on your phone who can walk you through the process? And next, we said, well, what's the biggest fear people have? A lot of people are nervous about having other people in their home. It's like when I told my mom I'm doing it again. She's like, you crazy? She found out actually yesterday on television. And, but the good news is we are now verifying the identity of every single person on Airbnb in the top 35 countries. And by next spring, it'll be 100%. So we're doing a lot more protections as well.
By the way, you used to live with your mom. This happened during the pandemic, which is a whole other story.
I would,
Poppy, why are you outing him?
I'm not outing him. He outed himself. But on a more serious note, I mean, there have been so many layoffs in Silicon Valley right now.
Yeah.
And it seems uniquely centered right now on you guys, on Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Is Airbnb preparing to lay anyone off? And
No.
if not, are you hiring?
We're hiring. Yeah, no, we're not. 2.5 years ago, we lost 80% of our business in 8 weeks. People were predicting we were going to go out of business. We did a layoff back then.
You had to lay off 25%.
25%, and that doesn't even include contractors. Then when you do a layoff, a lot of people leave after the layoff because they figure like maybe there's opportunities elsewhere. And this was in a much better economy where people had other options, and people thought a travel company is not the place to be during a pandemic. So a lot of people left. And we just hunkered down. It was like 1,000 of us got in a foxhole. We rebuilt the company from the ground up, and we stayed really lean. And because we stayed lean, we generate a lot of free cash flow. So we're stepping on the gas. We're not putting on the brakes.
People are wondering, why is your approach different? If you look at what Elon Musk is doing, he's telling people that they must return to the office, that they have to work these extremely hardcore or long hours at high intensity. Your approach is the opposite.
Yes.
And you're not cutting. You said you're growing.
We're growing. We're not cutting. We're not making people go in office.
Why
and
not?
we're doing really well.
Why not?
But I think Don's trying to ask, too, is Elon Musk wrong approach?
Is that, I don't know. I mean, just compare and contrast why you, and you're right. I mean, that's a good question.
Well, let me tell you why we're not making people go back to an office, and I can also tell you, so I think the future is flexibility. I think after compensation, the most important benefit for people with a laptop job will be flexibility. And the reason why is because I think this is going to be employee and market-driven market, not an employer-driven market. Maybe a recession it is. And we companies want to have the very best people. And the best people aren't in San Francisco. The best people aren't in New York. The best people are everywhere. They're distributed. So I now have to believe that I have a greater competitive advantage by limiting people to a commuting radius outside of my office, which means I have not as much talent, but I get enough benefit of them being in an office. Most companies, we've found that we're just as productive on Zoom, if not more productive. But we can also hire from everywhere. We can increase diversity. And I think the way to predict the future is to look what young people and young companies are doing, and they are voting with flexibility. So that's where I think the future is going. But, you know, every CEO has a prerogative to run their company differently. He's chose one path with flexibility. We've chosen another.
And so you're permanently remote.
We're permanently pretty flexible remote. But I also think pure Zoom has some downsides. This is one of the loneliest times in human history. And, you know, the office is now Zoom. The theater is now Netflix. The mall is now Amazon. So we also don't want to live in a dystopia where people never leave their house. And so that's why we're trying to still gather employees at least 1 week a quarter. And so we try to do a lot of gathering. But we've not chosen this whole 5-day week or even 3-day week hybrid. We think the world may be going in a little different direction.
Let me ask you about big tech, because you're part of it, right? And there's been a lot written about the big tech billionaire bros. And I'm not saying they're all the same, because they're not. But you told me once when we talked about a year ago, I think a lot of people in society don't think big tech has their interest in mind. Meta right now, Facebook. What's happening at Twitter, FTX, and the crypto crash. Is this a paradigm moment for big tech? Like, is this a moment of reckoning?
I think it's like we're all in a nightclub and the lights just came on. And so I think that, you know, suddenly I think there's this exuberance and euphoria, and now we all have to, like, take hard looks at things. And I think there's been the ultimate reality check. And I think you could say that about a lot of different sectors, a lot of different industries. My concern with crypto wasn't the underlying technology. My concern with crypto, for example, has always been the frenetic, like, get in before it's gone. And I just think that was not a responsible, like, approach. And I think Silicon Valley's done so many amazing things for the world, but we have to be careful having a fetishization of new technology, as if the new technology is going to solve all the problems that the last technology created. We need to marry technology with the humanities. We need more diversity in Silicon Valley, but that diversity should not just be demographic diversity. We need artists, humanists in this industry. We don't just want to A/B test our way towards the next great experiment. I think that will be very dangerous because human beings are on these platforms.
Well, as Caitlin and I just pointed out, people don't want to go into the office anymore, especially.
No, I think people do want to go into the office. I actually disagree with that.
You think people want to go into the office
I think
anymore?
that some people do, some people don't. I think a lot of young people that want to make friends want to go in the office. I think older people have families and others maybe less so. I don't think people want to go to office 5 days a week. Some people do. I mean, we're generalized.
So is that sustainable? That's the question.
Which part?
Is
the plan?
Yeah. Is it sustainable for people not to go into work or to have this sort of hybrid situation that you're...
I don't think pure remote is sustainable. And I don't think that 3 days a week or even maybe 3 days a week, 5 days a week is sustainable. I think we end up with something in between. I think everyone's like kind of negotiating and diverging towards this in between, and we're all going to design it together. We've chosen more of an immersion where you have flexibility. Like, you want to go away for the summer? You can go away for the summer. But then we're going to gather together for like really big bursts of time. And when you do gather together, I don't know if the purpose is to go to office, just sit at a desk and then be in a conference room. If you're going to be together to do
With intention.
It's the person who designed the Apple office, the Apple campus in Norman Foster. I met him once and he said, the office of the future must do what your home cannot do. What Zoom cannot do. And so if the office didn't exist, imagine there were no offices, would we invent them? And if we invented an office from scratch, what would it look like?
Well,
I don't know, but it wouldn't look like this.
To walk around the Apple campus